And we're off. Hello, welcome to the second ever. When it gets uploaded, I guess, because we've recorded two, but I'm gonna upload this at the second one to space them out. This is technically the second ever episode of the official Beastcast. I'm here with my lovely, dearest friend Smoke Sauce. You can find him on Twitch. He is what they call an endurance streamer, where he actually doesn't sleep ever. So I guess if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah. Alright, hey all, this is Smoke. Uh, I'm probably most known for just playing like Paladins a lot. I play a variety of games, so I usually just play Paladins, Overwatch, Honkai Impact, Osimania, and occasionally a bit of Blade and Soul too. Uh,
Okay.
I do enjoy streaming stuff, so if you are interested in that, any of the games that I mentioned, you are more than likely to expect to see them. So yeah, thank you for having me on the podcast.
No problem. So, basically, like, I would say Smoke is one of those streamers that, like, when you're watching him, he streams so long that, like, even just watching an hour of it, he does kind of the same thing for the entire time. So, for example, if you go, I'll have his link when this podcast goes live in the description. If you go to his, if you click on that, you'll see that his two most recent broadcasts are literally almost one's 24 hours long, almost 25, and the other one is 19 hours and 18 minutes long. And he'll basically just play games for as long as he can until his body basically just gives out. So if you want to just hop in every once in a while and watch, he's probably streaming 90% of the time, or well, maybe. And also, speaking of that, when's your next stream, by the way?
I did aim to stream later this evening, so that would be
So later this evening.
28th of July. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday, 28th of July.
So by the time this podcast probably goes up, you'll probably be streaming.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So then when this goes live, if you want to go check him out, he'll probably be streaming. So I wanted to start out with something that happened yesterday. So I played with Smoke yesterday. It was kind of well, I played with him the past few days. So I'm gonna share my screen here. So I wanted you to give your opinion because you did it on your stream, but I want you to give your opinion. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you? There should be
Yeah, I
audio.
can see it.
Okay, there should be audio. So we're gonna watch this clip here. Let me get my OBS to the right screen too. All right, we're gonna watch this clip right now.
Oh my. Guys, not even trying to hide it. I should have tracked this tower through the wall. 100% headshots.
All right, Smoke, can you give your opinion on that, please? What was the deal
Uh,
with that?
That's a common example of a player who clearly doesn't like being stuck in bronze or silver, or whatever, and he's basically just given up on life at this point and given in his soul to the devil and decided to ruin the game for everyone he's in with. Uh, you'd be surprised how many people use stuff like that, even in like higher elo games. Uh, and then there's people that like call themselves pro gamers, and yeah, unfortunately, they decide to keep up their reputation. They resort to things like these kind of cheats, for example, just to give them the edge, just so that they look good or people that, others can look to. And it's really wrong. And if you think it doesn't happen, believe me, it does, because there
Oh,
was an example, a
especially in
guy
that
on,
game. Yeah.
yeah, because there was an example of a guy in Alliance Valiant Arms. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was a really popular streamer of that game at the time and content creator. And he had about, what, 5,000 followers and subs and stuff. And
Which
then
for that game was big, yes.
yes, that was like, I would say top 10 for the EU NA region. And basically on one of his streams, his OBS or whatever streaming software he used glitched out, and you know, like sometimes where you like reload the game, like for example, Paladins, and you still have the same window capture up, it will
Oh.
capture the Steam overlay as well, even if it's disabled. Well, in this case, it captured this guy's cheat menu and all his hitboxes and stuff that was like letting him see enemies through walls and that.
Oh my god.
And yeah, everyone on the stream could see it clear as day. And this was a guy that was solemnly sworn that he hates cheaters and would do everything he can to get rid of them, and yet he's one of them himself. So,
It's kind of like that
you know,
one. Have you seen that clip? I'll try and find it real quick, and we can watch it on on the video here.
yeah.
Uh, have you seen that clip? I'm still streaming my screen. Yep. Okay. Girl doesn't realize she has cheats on CS:GO.
Oh, I think I've seen this clip.
Have you seen?
Yeah,
Yeah, this one.
yeah, I have. Asma showed me that, and we just laughed at it like crazy.
Dude, she's literally live streaming. You can see her menu. Her menu's.
Dude, literally the same thing happened, but with this guy. He was like an Israeli player or streamer. Oh, I really wish I remembered his name though. But yeah, he was one of those people that I don't know. He had to try and uphold a reputation.
Look at that. Hold on. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it back on the
Yeah,
screen.
that's literally the same kind of overlay that you could see on that other guy's stream that I was talking
She can
about.
literally see him through the wall. And then where did she realize that she's cheating? Is it right here? Hold on.
Yo, you guys, do you guys ever get that weird glitch in CS:GO where it shows your rank, that it shows everyone's rank?
At this point, she
Because
knows she's screwed.
I played the other day. I played the other day with Rock, and he got that, and now I have it.
Hold on, some of the comments are, oh, they turned them off. No. What the
Oh
hell?
boy.
Alright. Dude, so basically that same thing happened to that guy, but in yeah. It basically happened to him too. Oh, what is that game, by
Yeah.
the way? That game is that one game you used to play a lot, right? And then got
Alliance
shut down.
Valiant Arms. Basically, what happened was there was a licensing issue. Like the developers, Red Duck, or it was partnered with Neowiz at the time. They had end of license thing, and they both basically split ways. And because it was like originally developed in Korea, you know, there was like all kinds of, you know, red tape jargon, and it meant that when they gave like their licensing to at the time NMAS Entertainment, it basically expired, so it meant that they were no longer allowed to publish that game.
Oof.
So that meant in July 2019, the game's servers had to close. It was supposed to be re-released
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
March this year. However, there's been severe delays for unknown reasons, I guess. Maybe they want to polish it. I don't know. I mean, they promise that they're literally going to bring back the game as what we remember, but with a few like extra things. But
And
you know,
usually,
I'm
whenever
really
developers say that, like in Call of Duty, it never is how it says it's going to be.
well. I mean, they did try and bring out last year a version of well, their version of AVA called AVA Dog Tag, and it was horrendous. Like for me, like a game like that needs to have the right feel when you're like playing it, and that just nah, that was not it. It was horrible. I hated it. Everything felt like clunky. Sure, it looked great, you know, it was alright, but I miss like the old UI menu. I miss like how the guns felt, how unique it was, and you know, it lost its charm with the dog tag. So I'm hoping that they live up to their promise and, you know, bring back what everyone so eagerly misses, you know?
Yeah. And so, following into the cheating topic, how many cheaters, like, just in any games, the Paladins, whatever you, I guess, whatever multiplayer games, even Overwatch, you could say, how many cheaters do you think you run into, like, especially on Paladins, like, daily? Like, every single time you play for, like, those long endurance streams, how many cheaters do you think you'll get?
I'd say during the weekends it's particularly bad, unfortunately. But when I play on my main, which obviously has like the highest elo at the moment, around about high diamond masters elo, you probably run into them like 1 in every 20 games, unless you're very unlucky and run into the same cheater over and over.
And
I mean, it
usually,
isn't too likely, but well, me, since I've had experience with meeting them in other games and that, and, even talking to some of them at some point just to understand what their thought processes are and why they would do such a thing. It's quite interesting, actually, because, sometimes they're not even cheating against other players. Like, for example, in AVA, there was a co-op mode where if you beat like loads of waves of robots or zombies, whatever, you get rewards like from boxes. And normally that's extremely difficult, but some of these cheaters, they actually dedicated themselves to helping out the community, like to help them earn the rewards and stuff in those missions. Like those kind of cheaters, I had no problems with because
are the people that have like mod menus and they're playing like with their friends on like old BO2, like those people that would use BO2 mod menus like in game, like are scumbags. But then once you went into like a private match with your buddies and you like were just like getting out of the map and stuff, like that's fun. Like that's I feel like what they were probably made for. But then like you have stuff like
well, the thing is, like, my look on it is if it's used against other players or to acquire something that they shouldn't have, so like a rank, for example, or like ruin other players' experience, that's when cheats are bad. If it's in a game where it's like co-op, whatever, and the game is literally impossible, where the devs haven't like balanced it properly, and it's just to the point of being absolutely ridiculous, like some of the AVA co-op missions and modes were understandable. Like I don't have an issue with that, but it's like the moment they use their program to use against other players to ruin other players' experience, even if it's on their team or on the enemy team, that's where you draw the line. That's like, no, because I believe everyone should have a fair level and, be down to the own player's skill to get
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, I get what you mean. But so when you're playing against cheaters, I'm assuming the most they probably play then are, I would assume are just hit scans then in Paladins probably. Mm.
Uh, well, there's different types of cheaters in Paladins. There's people that use like aimbots, like whether it's a soft toggle or full on like that guy
Hard
that we
insta
saw.
lock, yeah, insta lock, straight to the
Yeah,
head.
so I've heard rumors of people using a soft lock aimbot where they've managed to, like the aim assist on like console, like controller.
Yeah, just it's very slight. Yeah,
Yeah, there's people that have
that for PC.
somehow made it so that if they hold a button down while they're moving around and whatever, and they shoot, it basically helps them track onto things. And there's a lot of people that use that but don't say anything about it.
Well, on console, I mean, on console, like I always say like, oh, he's just using controller, bro. He's so innocent. But like for for actually on console, to be honest, there really isn't that big of aim assist. Like if you watch me play, if you spectate me and watch me play,
Yeah,
I struggle against Eevee mainly. Like even Mave I can track, but Eevee's difficult because I can only play on such a high sensitivity, and Eevee can move faster than that sensitivity, so I can't actually lock onto her. Like if I even had aim assist, I would literally need full hard unlock aim assist, like Fortnite type aim assist, where like the bloom just blooms to her head because the aim assist in the game is very subtle, so it kind of just it slows down. I think very slightly slows down just a teeny bit whenever you're on like a target. But on Eevee, it's just non-existent because she's just always moving so fast that even if I tried to lock onto her, it would be impossible. The only thing I can play that can counter Eevee is Bomb King, because Bomb King's the only thing that I can play like with nasty AoE. Because or else like even like Leon, like where she can like do the you know the 1-2 buckle my shoe BS bullshit.
Leanne just has to keep her
Yeah.
distance
And
and
that's the
she'll
thing.
win.
And that's the thing when if you don't have somebody near you though, like if you're playing and like your healer or like your tank or something like that is not playing in the right position, and it's a good Eevee that knows that, she's just gonna run a train on Leon, no matter how many like insta auto lock like abilities she has where it just instantly does damage to them, you know, like without even
Hmm.
aiming. You're not gonna be able to kill her if your team is not in position, especially if it's good Eevee too. Like that happened yesterday. Like that Eevee was pretty all right. So like just me as Leon when I couldn't get back into play,
What,
she was
that
just
eye
like,
poker guy?
yeah.
Hmm.
It was just it was a little difficult because like I was almost just basically getting spawn camped, and it doesn't help when they're using freaking snow globe too.
Yeah, what, where they just sort of like lock all your movements, so you can't
Yeah,
like reposition to get like a
yeah.
wider field of view.
And they get it, and they what get it twice. Yeah, he gets it at 50%, and it does more double damage or whatever. That's kind of dumb.
Oh, it's only the ult damage that does double.
Yeah,
The
yeah, that's
actual,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
but that's
but it
still
lasts
like,
less time though.
yeah. It's kind of nutty. I think
Yeah.
a good Eevee is better than like good anything else really.
I don't know. I feel like good Leanne is currently better than a good anything else. Because
Really?
Leanne just counters literally everything except for tanks. And
Well, any
maybe
tank that has
Zen.
like just a mega shield, like either like Barrack and Nara especially Leon struggles
Well, it's
against, but
just that tanks can outlive Leanne's burst combo and basically kill her before the Leanne kills them in a 1v1 situation where they're both at full health. It's really tricky for the Lian to win against those, especially if the tank uses like their utilities like shields and that. But you know, at the end of the day, I think it's down to both the Lian player and the opposition player. But when
yeah.
it's a squishy target, Lian just basically wins. Maybe snipers will have the edge of Lian if it's long distance.
But even then with the eminence where you can do like the what 1200 or whatever it is, 1000.
Yeah, that's true. But it's also dependent on what the rest of the team has,
Yeah.
because often it's a case where Alacrity just, that's the go-to pick right now.
Yeah. So I have a question. So for your endurance streams, okay?
Yeah.
When you're streaming and you're like when at first when you start streaming, do you plan on like going like, all right, I'm gonna go for 25 hours today? Like, do you have a goal of how long you want to go for, or do you just kind of keep going until you literally just drop, like sleeping?
Well, there's not really any plan, but say if I wake up on the day, I think, right, what have I got to do today? What have I got to do tomorrow? And then if the answer is, just a free day, don't have to wake up till, say that time tomorrow, then I can see, right, I've got this amount of time to do whatever, and then I sort of allow for a rough amount of time to sleep before, something important that I need to be awake for happens. And then whatever that time is in the middle, that's just do whatever. So if I end up, just playing a game or whatever, why not? Just stream it, Just have some fun and try and bring other people in and let them have some fun too. And often it ends up, being like 15 plus hours because I don't know. I feel like Paladins is like one of those games for me particularly where I can just keep going and going and going. If I try to stream like Overwatch, for example, that's really difficult to want to play that game any longer than like 3 hours at a time.
Yeah.
But Paladins, I don't know, something about that game I can just keep going.
What do you between the two? What do you think in 2021 on this day, on July 28th as we're recording this? Which one do
Yeah.
you think is better, Overwatch or Paladins?
Good question. I feel like aesthetically, I like Overwatch. And if it's me personally watching someone stream, I would enjoy watching an Overwatch stream more than a Paladin stream. However, saying that, I really enjoy playing community streams, whether it be with other streamers or myself, playing with other people in the community, like on Paladins. I love that, you know. For me, that's really enjoyable. And I think because of that, Paladins has the edge of being the better game. And not just that, it's more suitable to an individual's playstyle too. Whereas Overwatch, you know, if the character's balanced in a certain way against other characters that are balanced in certain ways, you're stuck with that, regardless of if you like it or not. Whereas Paladins, you know, you've got choice. If you don't like something, you've got a lot of choices on how to deal with that, you know? And then you can pick which of those suits your playstyle the best. And you just don't have that with Overwatch. So therefore, I think Paladins, you know, wins the better game.
And I kind of, the thing about Paladins right now is I feel like a lot of their characters have been kind of like meh recently. Like their new characters, especially like Octavia and then Vatu. Those two characters were like, I would say, two of the worst characters I think they've ever done in their entire lives. Like
Uh,
even Tiberius was better than that. Like I actually when Tiberius came out, Tiberius was actually fun to play. Like he was kind of nutty, he did good damage, and uh, but with Octavia and like Vatu, like they do no damage, and then the only thing that's even good about either of them are their ults.
yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, I started playing on the same day Maeve got released, and I've seen a lot of different changes to the game over that time, and I can say that there's been characters that have been added that have been great additions, and I can say characters that have been added which, yeah, they shouldn't have been added.
Okay, so which
So,
ones do you think should be the ones that haven't been added?
well, what, you mean like they shouldn't add, or shouldn't have added?
They shouldn't have added at that point. Like the game would have been better off without them, and we could have won the like way better game without
Right, so, very top of that list would
them.
be Liane. The game does not need Liane. Like, ever since that character's got released to the game, it's made the game way less enjoyable for playing any other character. Because it's just like, you know, you like playing, oh, you want to play Drogos? Oh, someone took Liane. Oh, I'm screwed. Oh, I like playing Maeve. Oh, someone took Liane. Oh, well, I'm screwed. Oh, I like playing Eevee. Oh, same story. And it's like, so many characters that are normally fun to play. Then you see a Leanne on the other team, and then it's just like, oh, well, that's a shame. And then I feel like another character that fits that category for the exact same reason is Xin. Xin should have never been added. That character is dumb, stupid, and I hate it. It's way too easy to play and does way too much damage, and it's got way too much survivability, and it's just like, you know, anyone with half a brain can make that character almost impossible to kill.
They
And
nerfed Guillotine
I
though.
used to love playing Sky, and yeah, Zen just hard counters Sky. Like, there's no way beating a
Oh
Zen
yeah.
as Sky.
I remember Tribute wanted to talk about that back in like October. He was like, it was when he was still like that was before he found Zin as his main, and he was
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, Sky is nutty. Like he was in a public match. He goes, Sky is just ridiculous. Sky is so nutty. I just can't handle it. I go, well, what are you playing? He goes, well, I'm playing Zin, but I can't. I don't understand it. I don't understand how Sky is just this good. I was like, dude, I guarantee Zin is better than Sky. He goes, oh, really? And so we went into a private match and we 1v1'd. And like, the problem what he was having is, first off, no illuminate. Second off, he was just letting Sky, he would use all of his abilities. Because
yeah,
the thing is, Zin is really good at running away. But you have to use his abilities correctly. Because if you just billow then dash, and then you use your counter, you have nothing. And then if Sky's like there, you're done. Because you have nothing
true.
left. You can't even
I
out
think
damage her
it's
with life orb.
loadout dependent at that
Yeah,
point.
because you need the right cards. You just need a little bit of everything to go. You just need to have a little bit of game sense, and he didn't.
Yeah,
And I ran a train on his Sky. And yeah, and then I got him the right loadout, and then he started playing Zen more, and then yeah, he clapped off. Zen is one of his best characters now, but that's just because Zen's kind of nutty.
I wonder
Especially
how his Sky would fare against Myson.
oh, well, he doesn't. I don't know if he plays Sky anymore. But to be fair though, that man grew like that man. I grew that kid up. Okay, I walked so he could run. That man is double my level now and double my playtime in the span of
Oh,
like
damn.
not even 10 months. I've been playing this game for 4 years. Well, with a lot of breaks, like year breaks. Ugh.
Yeah.
But he played for 10 months straight and got double my playtime, double my hours, double my character levels, except for on Bomb King because he hates Bomb King. And but I would say most controller players do. But there's very few controller players that have a Bomb King my level, especially newer controller players.
Hmm. I'd be quite curious to see how far he's come along, since the last
Yeah.
time I saw him.
Well, I tried to get him to play, but he said he doesn't play Paladins anymore. He quit in May, and he's just been playing COD recently. But he's got to focus on his school because he has like he's in a senior year of college, I think, this year, and he had
Oh,
apparently said
damn.
he had a lot of summer classes, like a lot of
What
summer.
about the other guys that we used to play with? Like, what happened to them?
So Tiberius, I don't exactly remember what happened to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know if you remember Evie, Bewitching Evie, who changed his name to Vorus Simp. So he plays the game, but he only plays with his girlfriend. I haven't seen them on PS5 or 4 or anything like that. But apparently he plays a lot with his girlfriend, and he only plays Vora. I think he has like a level 80 or something. I think you can just look up his account real quick. Hold on here. We can just go to.
Bora's like one of those characters that's really easy to play
Yeah,
if you
like when
play
I remember
safe.
when Creepers was talking about like he was like, "Oh my god, thank you guys for making the best character in the game. She's my favorite character. Oh my god." And I was like, "Dude, come on." Is it Ivorus Simp? Is it just Vorus Simp maybe? I have no idea what his name is. That's definitely not him. He's not in the EU region. I can't find him.
Hmm.
But his name's like Ivorsimp or Ivorsimp or something like that. Here, I can turn on my PS5 and find him in a thing real quick. But anyways, I don't remember what happened to him. Who else? DJ Cersei. He was online yesterday, but I don't know what happened to him either. He's kind of like a lot of these people I haven't talked to, other than like Tribune, a few of them. Let's see. Who else did we play with? Oh, the two Germans. Actually, the three Germans technically.
Oh, Peggy and
Jacob and all them. That, yeah.
I haven't seen them in a while.
So I don't exactly know. I talked to Peggy because Jacob had been like mega AFK for like the longest time. Like hadn't even touched anything social, nothing like that. And I was like, oh geez. I was like, so what the frick happened to uh Jacob? And I asked Peggy that. He goes, oh, basically some stuff with like some people with I don't exactly know, but basically got in trouble. Like with oh, it's iSimp Vora. Oh god, I had it wrong. Okay. There we go. He has less playtime than me by like 200 hours. See, when was the last time he played? He has not played once this season. Updated 8 months ago. Jesus. Oh my god. 44 hours on Vora. To be fair though, he's pretty good for EV on controller.
Yeah.
But and then so Peggy still streams a lot actually. I'm actually surprised he's not streaming now, but yeah, Peggy still streams a lot. I have no idea what happened to Pandora though. And then who else did we play with?
That's a good question.
Trying to think of some names. Oh, that Geo the Great Ape kid. You never really played with him that much, but you played with him a few times. He's like only like 13. He does not sound like he's only 13, but he's only like 13. So like I don't talk to him a lot. But Basically, yeah, a lot of everybody just kind of dropped off. Like even Vora right there, like he hadn't played in 8 months apparently. He played with the last time he played was 8 months ago, or updated it on Paladins Guru anyways.
It's
But
crazy.
Tribute, I don't know. Tribute always, you could ask Tribute that question because Tribute used to play that game a lot. He like that man. I would log on to PS4 back before I got a PS5, and I'd log on just to see like who was on. That man would be on Paladins about the entire day, and
Oof.
yeah, we can even go to. I think his name is Bot Sell My TP now. Hold on.
I
He
think
could-
I've seen that name, honestly.
Damn it. God, hate having to turn my goddamn PlayStation on to fucking find people. God, that's so annoying. Okay, his name is. Okay, it's like this. It's bots, and then it's sell my T dash. Not T. Oh, god damn it! And it doesn't even keep it up there. There we go. Last seen a month ago. Yeah, look at this smoke.
Yeah.
When we started playing with him, he had 50 hours.
Oh, damn.
747 hours.
Nice.
See what his ranks are. Did he ever hit Grandmaster? Or even Master?
I can only see a Google tab at the moment.
Yeah. I'm only on the Google tab. Oh, it's messed up. Sorry. Here you go. So, he's Diamond 2. What was he in Season 4? Diamond 1. Doesn't
Wow,
have
he's
Season
Diamond
2.
1?
Platoon Open Beta. What did he play in Open Beta? Saris. I actually played a lot of Saris in Open Beta too. I don't know why. He was Diamond 1 last season. His most played champion for some reason was Barrick. But yeah, Zin was his most played. I don't know why it's like that. Zin was his most played, 52% win rate, 1.52 KD. What about Season 5? He played a lot of tank. I'm assuming because he just fills. And on ranked, especially on controller, everybody's just like, "Oh, I want to play Victor." He
Oh,
did play a
boy.
good amount of Sky though. Season.
Dang, that's impressive. Like, you know, for him to got so far in that amount of time, like, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, he's
I'm
level
proud of him.
517. He's actually 300 levels above me.
But if you do see him and, like, let him know that you told me about him
Oh.
and just be like, you know, say that I'm impressed by the amount of progress he's made in
yeah.
that amount of time.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I'm going to try and get him on the podcast here, but he wanted to play COD with me a few days back, so I was gonna see if he wanted to play before I leave this weekend. Gotta go on vacation.
I feel for sure I've seen that name before. Like,
Well,
maybe he's
not
on
in
my
ranked.
friends list, or if I've seen him in
Oh,
games.
he definitely is. He definitely is on your friends list, but you might have
Yeah.
seen him in games too because he said that he swears that because I played a match with him back in like February or something like that. One time, or no, it was like one day I played. I was like, all right, I'll play a little bit, and he said that he swears up and down that he has played with you multiple times in that game.
I feel like I've definitely seen that name specifically in games.
148 on support, 208 on frontline, 163
How's
on
it
damage.
compare to mine?
How do I do the comparison? Do I? Oh, I guess I can just do this. I can do.
Yeah, just do a new tab.
Smoke sauce. Oh, you're right there. 2,962 hours. Yeah, and then we can just do this. So 208 on front lines, 460 on front lines, 148 on support, 749 in support. Oh my God, Smoke!
What?
163 on damage, 1,000 hours on. What I forget. 1,042 hours on damage, 710 on flankers, 227 on flankers. His most played, your most played is Cassie, 173 hours, 2.25 KDA. His is, well, this is lifetime. This is, his most played is, wait, is that really your most played? Yeah, it is. His most played is Zin with 55 hours, 1.54 KD.
Ooh, how many comparison stats to mine? I'm curious. It's probably quite close.
Oh, yeah, Zin here. Let's go to champions. Okay, Zin, 55 hours played. Let's go to your Zen. Where's your Zen at? Zen, you have 55 hours played.
Yeah.
So he has 55.48. You have 55.00 or 07. Sorry.
Ooh.
He has had 821,000 credits. You've had 905,000 credits.
So that just means overall I've done
Yep.
better, or the games have lasted longer.
Yeah, credits per minute is yours is 274, his is 245. Your KDA is 2.25, his is 1.54. You have 4,133 kills. He has 2,945 kills. You have 2,569 assists. He has 2,531 assists. Damage, you have 21 million, or you have 21.9 million damage. He has 18.3 million damage. Damage per minute, he has 5,485. You have 6,634. Weapons, I don't know what weapon damage maybe. You have
yeah.
Yeah, you have 18.1 million. He has 15.6 million. Taken, you have 13,727,854. He has 13,679,745.
So he's taken less damage than what I have.
And your deaths, he has had 2,741 deaths. You have 2,411 deaths.
Ooh,
Your
so
win loss ratio, your win loss ratio is 56.07%. His is 53.76%.
Oh damn.
Who's another character used to play? He used to play a lot.
I see he's got a lot of games on Androxus.
Does he really? Oh yeah, he played a lot of Andro. How many games does he have?
Exactly the same as Zin.
258?
He has 266 games
Oh.
played on both Zin and Andro.
Okay, let's go to your Andro then. Oh god, where's your Andro even at? Right there. He has 50 hours played on Androxus. You have 123 hours. Credits per minute. He actually has more credits per minute than you, but because he has less playtime, you have more credits. He has 785,000 with 258 credits per minute. You have 250 credits per minute at 1.8 million. And then your KDA is 1.91. His is 1.5, which is pretty good for Andrew playing crossplay on controller. He only has 2,767 kills. 13
You also
million
gotta
damage.
remember, like, the amount of higher elo games that I've played in comparison there is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
And this is an average over 601 games, whereas his is less than half of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to wrap up this segment real quick because we got to move on. We got to move on. Okay, so our next segment. Oh yeah, what do you like to do in your free time when you're not gaming? Like other than work?
probably just like watching other streams, maybe watching an anime or something. That's basically it, really.
So you kind of
As
just
if
vibing all the time.
pretty much, if I'm not playing something, I'm watching something, basically.
Oh, and so I already know what you do for work, but you recently just graduated from college, did you not? Right?
Yeah, it was a 2-year event production course.
So what exactly are you doing right now for your job?
Well, I recently got hired at local venue downtown, and I am now a venue technician. So I do all like the sound and lighting and arranging like the stage for gigs and stuff for when like famous people want to come down and perform. And it's really cool because I get to like meet all these like amazing performers and stuff and help them set up and like make them sound amazing and make them stand out.
That's cool. Uh,
Yeah.
for like, have you met anybody like really famous yet?
Well, I haven't met anyone super famous yet, no, but I've met some, I'd say moderately big names, but I've only done 2 nights so far. I'll be due to work on Friday and Saturday this week though,
Ooh.
both of
So
which
you kind of
different
work
bands.
weekends then, I'm assuming, since it's events, and most events don't usually happen in the
Yeah,
middle of the week.
it's basically Fridays, Saturdays, and or Sundays, so even though it's over 3 days, I usually only work 1 or 2 of those days, just depending on which days are booked for events.
That's pretty cool. Uh,
Yeah.
so I must have been blasted when I was making this. So, but this next question: if Smoke could move to any other place in the world for free and live there for free forever, where would he go, or would he even leave?
I would probably like to live in the United States, mostly because everything in the UK is just so expensive. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how expensive it is.
Yeah,
It's like if you're earning even like a decent wage, that's barely just enough to like keep your head above the water. Like it's stupid, and that's if you don't even own a car or like vehicle. So like, if
y-
you did want to own a car and a vehicle and like run it and like actually still be able to enjoy stuff, you're gonna have to have a really well paid job for that just to have a smile on your face without feeling like you're overworked all the time. That's basically what it's like living over here. It's really tough.
so with like the United States though, the one thing that I would say is a drawback is, do you guys get free healthcare there, correct?
Um, I mean, kind
Kind of.
of, but
Like you
it
get free
comes out of
medicines and
our
stuff, right?
wages. Not, no, we don't. It
Oh, really?
depends on what it is actually, because,
Like insulin?
well, if it's prescription based, you only get free medicine if you're on benefits, like the universal credit system.
Oh,
Otherwise, you have to pay for the prescriptions.
because if you're well, the thing about insulin though is I in the UK it's like it's just like a normal price of most medicines, I believe they said. But like in the
I
US,
don't know.
if you want insulin, it's like $1,000. I have no idea why.
Wow, we.
But the thing is about our medicine is the medicine, like the pharmaceutical industry, basically the companies that own it, they decide all the prices. The government does, like the government can't really regulate it right now. It's kind of hard to
Well,
because
it's
because
like that
because
over here too.
yeah. So basically, a lot of our medicine gets so souped up to the point where you can't even like afford to even go to the hospital. Like if you want to take an ambulance, for example, like let's say you don't have a car and your mom has a heart attack or something like that. Like if my mom had a heart attack, we live about like not even 3 minutes away because we live in a small town, and our hospital is about 2 minutes away in a drive. In a car, it's about a minute and a half. Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So for an ambulance, since it's going to be speeding, it's going to take about 30 seconds to get there because it's going to be going like 70 down because it's right on a freeway. A hospital comes right off of a fast road, so they can go really quickly. If I don't have a car and my mom is like having a heart attack or something like that, and I need to get her there ASAP, and I call an ambulance, it's going to be for that 30-second car ride like 4 grand just for the ambulance. even if they do nothing to her, even if she just gets the ride from there. Like you'd almost be better off actually just like putting your mom on your back and sprinting to the
Why not
hospital.
call like an Uber or like a taxi?
The thing is, though, we live in such a small area right now that Uber and taxis don't really exist. We have a taxi guy, but I don't know what time he works. It's not very well known. Basically, the only way to get to the hospital if you don't have a car is either walk or have somebody there that can drive or take an ambulance. And if you take an ambulance, it can be like $4,000.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. So, but honestly, if you live in a bigger city, you'll be fine because in a bigger city, for example, out here, you're not gonna make as much money like in Minnesota where I live. But if you live in somewhere like California, it's gonna be a higher cost of living, but you're gonna make a lot more money, a lot more opportunities as well.
True.
But even in Minnesota, like if you go to Minneapolis, which is our biggest city, well, kind of.
That's
our
where
biggest city.
Raven lives.
He lives in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the Twin Cities is what they're called. He lives just a few hours away from me then. Basically in the Twin Cities though, they have all that stuff like Uber and people make more wages than us. But out here, like in the middle of nowhere, like especially like when all these billionaires and millionaires, they all move to this place called Montana. It's that state that has like a lot of trees where Yellowstone National Park is. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
big and mountainous and it's beautiful. Thing is, it's so beautiful and it's so awesome to live there, but it is so expensive to live there that unless you actually make like 7 figures a year, you're not going to be able to live there. Like in the beautiful places, there's places like Bozeman and like Livingston, which are smaller. Bozeman is pretty big now, but like Livingston, that's a
Sounds
smaller
like Cambridge.
city. But
Basically what Cambridge is over here. Like, unless you're super rich or like you're like a university student,
well,
you're
even in
not
like
really gonna be able to
even
afford
in like
it
the
just
bigger
'cause it's
cities, like
prestigious.
there's some bigger cities that I don't know why anybody would ever want to live there. Like New York City is the worst city to live in. It is so polluted. The people are so rude. It's so expensive. There's a video. I don't know if you probably have not seen it, but it's called the 700-foot square apartment. And literally, the guy has enough room to open his door, flip down a retractable bed that sits in the wall, and then he has a TV above his door, and he has a little microwave on his shelf. And that was $1,000 a month in New York.
Dang.
Yeah, New York City is awful. It is the worst thing ever. Minneapolis is a little better, but Minneapolis also has a really high cost of living. Uh, I doubt Misa, or not Misa, fucking Raven probably actually lives in Minneapolis itself. He probably lives in a suburb because the Twin Cities is what they're called because it's Minneapolis, St. Paul. They have like 50 suburbs to the point where Minnesota's population, 50% of it lives in that little like 100-mile radius, not even 100 miles, 50-mile radius, and then the other half lives scattered around the entire country, or not country, yeah, state. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, the states are pretty fine though. If you gotta pick, you gotta know where you gotta go though. You can't just like be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go move to Los Angeles. That Los Angeles would be awful. If you're gonna move to
Yeah,
California, you'd
that's
rather go to.
awful.
If you're
I
gonna
would
move
never
to,
go California. I would
you'd have to
rather
go
not
San
have my house
Francisco if you wanted
crumble.
to. Where would you go?
I would rather not have my house crumble if,
Yeah,
the
because
the
it's right on
place
that fault
decide
line.
to
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
Where would you go then in the United States? Do you have like a little region that you think you'd go?
I mean, I would probably go near where you are, honestly, because it seems like, yeah, it has harsh winters and whatnot, but geographically, it's most ideal, I would say, because it's not too hot most of the time. You don't have like what tornadoes and hurricanes.
Every once in a while we'll get tornadoes, but we haven't had a nasty tornado in our area for a while. And most tornadoes that happen, they don't even touch the ground. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but Tornado
Whereas if
Valley is like just right under Minnesota. Like you start going the farther down, like in middle of Nebraska, I think, which is like from where I live is about middle of Nebraska would be like a 5 hour drive. That's where Tornado Valley starts, where they get all those tornadoes and like Kentucky and all that, because their land is actually so much more flat than ours. Like Minnesota's land is flat, but we have so many lakes and so many trees that a lot of the tornadoes they kind of get killed really
You mean
quickly.
what they like get dispersed?
Yeah, and they get dispersed. But when you go down there, it's just flat land with a lot of nothing. So the tornadoes can kind of just run a train and have nothing really stopping them.
Yeah.
Especially when you have that they have the western wind, which is really crazy because uh, I don't know if you know about like the Area 51, like the Nevada testing base where they tested all the nukes and all that in Nevada, which is on the
Oh
west
yeah.
coast. The government or the people that were designing like where to put the location, they told them, they said, hey, we should put it on the east coast because the wind goes west to east. So basically, then we wouldn't be spreading nuclear, like you were even watching that video, the strontium 90, where it was getting
Yeah,
into
we were
people's.
watching that video
Yeah,
yesterday on stream, weren't
yeah,
we?
the strontium 90. The strontium 90 is in everybody's bones now because of the west to east wind, because they put the testing center almost as far to the west as you could put it. So basically, whenever they drop a nuke, it would all the strontium 90 would get put up into the wind and it would just disperse across most of the United States.
Well, I guess it was just cheaper for them to put it there.
Well,
Or
yeah, it
they
was
just
also closer to their military bases and like their weapons facilities, so they could get the nukes done way quicker.
yeah.
But yeah, living in Minnesota is can be boring unless you live. It's a little crazy. I'm assuming since you live, where do you live? You live where do you live in the UK?
Southwest near Bristol.
So
It's quite nice.
is it kind of big though? Like it's a bigger city, right? Correct.
The town I live in is, I wouldn't say it's huge, but it's just like, I don't know, is moderate sized and accurate description.
So do you think
Like, it,
like do you have like traffic backups and you have a lot of people and stuff like that though?
yes, but
Okay.
that's basically everywhere in the UK, regardless of where you
Yeah.
live, just because it's very overpopulated for landmass.
If you do ever move to the United States, uh, if you move to Minnesota in particular, I'd recommend living at least close to the Twin Cities because uh, the thing is, a lot of the people out here are very what's the word? They're very hillbillyish, and they don't really like new people.
Oh
So
yeah,
so you're better off moving closer to the cities where there's a very large group of people. Also, near the cities, if you don't go into the like, you can go into the cities, but if you don't like live in the cities or like walk downtown and stuff like that, you're not gonna get like killed or anything like that. Like everybody's like, don't go to the Minneapolis, you're gonna get shot because of the BLM and all that BS. But like, no, that doesn't really happen as long as you're like, if you just like, if you just are like chilling and you don't like do anything stupid, you're not gonna die.
I
But
mean that's basically like that
everywhere,
everywhere. Like
yeah.
everywhere's got risk, because I mean UK
You
has got like one of the highest rates of knife crime in the
Yeah,
world.
and then the United States has one of the highest gun rate crimes. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. You're
Yeah.
gonna get killed. You have a risk of getting killed regardless of anywhere. But some other good places to live. I mean, uh, other than the hurricanes, Florida would be perfect to live. I mean, it's just always pretty chill, other than for
Wow.
a month in the summer where it gets really hot. But then
You
there's
gotta
hurricanes.
remember, another problem with Florida geographically is the geology of the area.
Yeah,
So
it floods.
basically, underground of Florida is a lot of sedimentation,
Hmm.
and particularly what's bad about it is on the lower levels there's a lot of like soft rock, like sandstone, for example, and on top you've got like a hard rock, which, I don't know exactly what material it is. But what happens is when it like rainfalls, or like when they have like farmland and agriculture and they like dig into stuff and like mine, a lot of that soft rock gets worn away and eroded, and people above ground, they don't know. And then it's only a matter of time when the weight of the hard rock above sort of like slips, gives way, and yeah, then you get loads of things what you call like sinkholes, and
Yeah.
it can happen literally anywhere across Florida at any time.
Yeah. In Florida though, I just like having the hotter weather. It would be nice. But the one thing I do like about Minnesota though is sometimes like, oh, also where it's located, because if climate change keeps going the way it's going, and all that BS, and it's like everybody's like, no, we're not gonna stop climate change. We don't care. It's not real. And then like the polar ice caps and all that melt. Basically, what would
Yeah.
happen is the west and east coast would kind of get engulfed in water, and they'd all have to evacuate into the middle of the country, and property tax and properties would raise so high in the middle of the country that living in Minnesota is like dead center of the middle of the country. Like you are dead center in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
You are the least likely to get any type of water damage unless you live in the town that I live in. I'll show you some pictures because I don't have it showed up because I don't want to tell people where I live, but it's this place. You can watch this in your own time. So basically, what happened is, here I'll do this one. Basically, what happened is, we have a river, okay, and it
Yeah.
snowed a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot, okay, and when it snows, when it melts, when it gets warm, that water kind of seeps into the ground, and then
It
it
has
actually
to go somewhere.
it usually just goes right into the ground, okay? And then if we get a good amount of snow, sometimes there'll be big puddles, and stuff like that for a few weeks. What happened in 1997 in the town I live in, everybody had to evacuate, and they ended up having to move a residential area on top of a hill, because like on top of this gnarly hill too. But what ended up happening is it kept raining and raining and raining, because what happened is it was snowing so much that when the temperature finally rose above 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius, it stopped turning into snow. Okay, so then it started just becoming rain, and as the rain's melting, or as the snow's melting, and it keeps raining and raining and raining and raining, and it doesn't stop for like weeks, it ends up becoming so much water that pretty much 80% of our town was flooded, and they were having to sandbag like any type of hills and evacuate people like farther to the west of our town, up on this big hill. It was freaking crazy. I wasn't alive for this, but uh yeah, that was nutty. I
Hmm.
it's a long video, but it's pretty interesting. So I have a few more topics, but you seem to know a lot about U.S. geography then, huh? Did you take a U.S. geography course or something like that in college or high school or something?
No, it's just I used to be fascinated when I was younger by geography in general, so I like to
Yeah.
learn about different places across the
So,
world and
so you do
just
you kind of have an idea of what Minnesota's geography is like then, if you did ever move here?
yeah, it's mostly pine forests and evergreen forests and stuff.
You're
And
you're
from what
half
I've heard,
correct. You're half correct. The northern half is pine forest. The southern half, where I live, is hilly flatlands. So a lot
yeah,
of
I was about to
agriculture.
say a lot of hilliness and there's a few I would say slightly mountainous
It
areas.
kind of looks like the UK, because the UK doesn't really have any mountains. It's just kind of hilly, correct? Like a lot of the not
Well,
big cities.
where I live, near what they call the Mendip district, that's the whole hilly region, and that area particularly, affects the microclimate of our area specifically, because we get a lot of westerlies come off the Atlantic, and as the atmosphere moves over the Mendips region, it affects how the rainfall and stuff happens further inland. And I don't know if you know much about precipitation science,
Just a little bit, not
but
a lot.
yeah, basically depending on the landmass and the heat of the land underneath and
Hmm.
how it's sort of the airflow will depend on where and how much the rain will fall. And my town in particular is located in a way that we tend to get less rainfall than surrounding area of around us, which is really nice actually. But when it does rain, it does rain, and that's usually when the clouds are absolutely massive, where it's big
But
storm front,
yeah,
like it was today and yesterday.
is that also the same reason why the UK is always kind of cloudy too?
uh, well, sort of. You gotta remember, a lot of the energy comes off the Atlantic, and that's pulling a lot of moisture in. And because I don't know if you know about the Gulf Stream. Do you know
Yeah.
much about the Gulf Stream? Okay. So that's like a big sort of like current of air, like consistent air in the atmosphere, like high above where like most of the clouds are.
We in the U.S. call that the jet stream.
Yeah, it's also the jet stream over here too.
Oh.
But the reason why it's called the Gulf Stream is because the area of where it comes from, for us particularly, is from like the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, and you get that stream that blows up and it blows east and up.
Yeah,
North and
so this
east.
particular chain comes from the Azores region, which is like West Africa, and then it blows uh, west across the Atlantic, and that's like, where like all the hurricanes develop and hit like Florida and the Caribbean. And
Mm-hmm.
then it then takes a turn back into the Atlantic again, taking a northeast approach, and it will do like don't know what makes it best to call it, like a curve. So go up and then down and then up again. So it hits sometimes like Iceland, and it will go as far down as like Spain, and then
Oh,
back
jeez.
up either over or below the UK. It's quite flexible around this part. But if the Gulf Stream is below the UK, we get a lot of cold weather because it means we get a lot of Arctic fronts come straight down from the north.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if the Gulf Stream is above the UK, we get a lot of warm air currents like we have for the past like 3 weeks, and that brings a lot of moisture in from like Spain and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it basically that's how it works.
Well, weather's been kind of nuts recently, like in the United States too. Like right now, we're in a excessive heat watch. It's gonna feel like 100 and something degrees today. Uh, and
Yeah,
but it's only gonna be 99. But my friends down in Florida, I have a few friends down in Florida, and they said in Jacksonville, where they live, it has been raining for almost a month straight now. Like
oh
very
dang.
few, like a little bit of quitting. Like it would quit for like for like an hour or two, and it would start up again. It has been cloudy and gross, and they've had a lot of rain. But luckily down there, their cities are prepared for like flooding, so for like
Yeah,
hurricanes and stuff like that. So they already have all the flood stuff set up correctly. So like, like whenever it rains a lot, they have it set up kind of like a hurricane situation. But yeah, like, and then on the East Coast, it's been really it's been nice and cool. Like they've had it pretty all right. Like New York always has it all right, but uh, on the West Coast though, we've also had an excessive heat watch to the point where the ocean is so warm by the California, Nevada area, all that fish are actually being cooked alive under the water.
dang.
Yeah, and so basically, and then in Seattle, Washington, which never usually, I have family out in that area, which never usually gets above like 90 degrees in the summer, and never really gets below like 30 degrees. Uh, it got like 110 degrees last week there.
Yeah, that sounds like it was in the UK like past 2 weeks. 'Cause we had like a major heat wave as well. And oh my, I tell you what, like it ridiculous, absolutely. Like my first day of work last week on Tuesday, it was like it broke so many record temperatures around the
Oh
country.
yeah,
Like
Seattle did too.
it was just ridiculous. And I was working that day, and I had to like set up like a really heavy like lighting truss. I see if I can find a picture of it for you. And yeah,
Well,
it was just me and this one other guy, and we were just like doing it, and like the lights and stuff were so heavy.
and
Um,
but the thing is, it broke Washington's records, but it didn't break any national records because the thing about having a national record being broken for heat, if it isn't, 90% of the time it's usually in Arizona or Florida because Arizona's a desert and Florida is just so far down that it's just hot. Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, so it's really hard to break national heat records. Now, national freezing records, on the other hand, you would think Alaska would have that because they are the farthest north. They're all the way up by Canada. But
yeah.
Minnesota, I believe, actually has the highest low temperature or the lowest temperature ever recorded in the United States, if I remember correctly.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
I sent you a
jeez.
picture.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's really heavy. Like, the actual frame itself is less weight than those large, like, moving lights underneath. It's
Yeah.
nice because the frame itself is made out of, like, aluminium, which is
Yeah.
a very strong but light material.
Mm-hmm.
But because there's so much of it, obviously it's still really heavy. Like,
Uh,
I can lift the thing, but it's like I can't lift it very high because I'm not
yeah.
hugely strong.
Can you explain it to the viewers that are listening right now? Like, basically, like, what it looks like?
Well, it's like a bit of metal scaffolding. Uh, well, it's called a truss. But you probably see it like in theaters, what the
Mm-hmm.
lights hang off of. That's basically what it is. So you got like a bunch of large lights and batons and stuff like clamped to it with like, safety chains and that. Like it always has to have safety chains because if the clamps for whatever reason fail or they're not done up properly, you don't want like, really heavy like 70-kilo lights just falling on someone's head on stage or above the audience because that's just not fun for anyone and that could probably kill someone. So we always have safety chains on them.
Yeah. So I looked it up. What is the lowest temp recorded in the U.S.? And it's actually not in Minnesota. It's actually in Montana. It is actually in Rogers Pass, Montana, and it's 70 degrees below zero.
Yeah, that's a no thank you for me. I would never want to live in an
Which
area
that's
that
in
cold.
Fahrenheit. That's not even in Celsius, which I would believe it is like 100 degrees below zero in Celsius. But I can look up in Minnesota what is the lowest.
But 100 minus 100 degrees Celsius is no, it's not that. Uh,
It might be. Well, here I'll just do a Fahrenheit to Celsius converter. F to C, and I'll do.
it's probably like minus 50 if I had to guess.
Yeah, minus 56. Sorry, I forgot. It's like I forgot. Once you start working backwards with Celsius, yeah, it's like weird.
You just gotta remember 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and
Yep.
then
All
10
you
degrees Celsius is 50
well,
degrees
the
Fahrenheit.
formula is really simple. It's just like I'm looking at the formula right now. It's just the Fahrenheit number minus 32 times 5/9, and that's Celsius.
Yeah.
But in MN, the lowest ever temp is close, 60 degrees below zero.
Oof.
But that was in 1996, so you're not yeah. In
Yeah, the
2020, the
year I was
lowest
born.
smoke age reveal. No, the lowest temp. Don't fear not though, because the last year the lowest temp Fahrenheit was -12.
Hmm.
So I guess it would be like, oh, I don't know what that is in Celsius. I think in those lower negative numbers, aren't they pretty similar to Celsius?
Yeah, it's like minus. I don't know. I don't have a thermometer next to me to check.
Okay.
And also the thermometers over here don't go that low usually. It's only like minus 10 degrees Celsius. It doesn't go any lower than that
Yeah,
because it's very
-12 is
rare.
actually -24 degrees Celsius
Hmm.
Fahrenheit. Because, well, that's why I got confused, because that's why I said negative numbers are weird. Because once you start getting to that point, eventually Fahrenheit numbers start passing the Celsius numbers at like 40. Yeah. So what happens is the way the equation is set up, okay, is basically 40 degrees -40 degrees Fahrenheit is -40 degrees Celsius. It evens out at -40, and then anything past that starts getting above it, like it starts getting above Celsius, because Fahrenheit is just the unit of measurement it is in is like just a little bit bigger than Celsius, I believe. But I think Celsius works a little easier because like 0 is freezing and 100 is melting. Like
Hmm.
that's easier to remember than 32 and 128 and like, like I don't know. I guess I if we went to Celsius and it would just take me a few years to convert, but I think I could do it. But okay, I'm almost done with our stuff. I only have. Oh, first off, I don't know if you heard this, but I don't know if you've been following like the whole PlayStation stuff going on. You know, like where it's been scalped, like the graphics cards and all that.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that do that nowadays, sadly, and that's across all kinds of technology.
On the PS5 has now sold 10 million consoles. Okay,
Yeah,
and
and
the
one of those numbers isn't me, because I don't have one.
one of those numbers is me though because I do have one. But somebody did somebody like did a survey or something like that, and like they found out like when they did the survey that they believe if their numbers were correct that 75% of the 10 million sold is actually not even out of a box yet. It's on somebody's eBay page probably.
Hmm.
Like that's how big of the stock. So 75% of 10 million, so like 7.5 million consoles are not in the gamers' hands. It's in scalpers' hands. But like those scalpers, and what they do is it's so cheeky too because they set up like entire bot algorithms that like change their IP addresses a million times because you can't buy more than one on the same IP address. So these bots will literally buy thousands of them and buy them on like so many different IP addresses, and like they'll do it so quickly, and it's just like how are actually real people supposed to get mine or get one? Like the only way I got one is because PlayStation is doing a new thing where members who have been if you've had a an account, so a PlayStation Network account for more than 5 years, you will eventually just get randomly selected to buy one, and then on a certain date you can buy it. And even it was literally this is how many people were buying it. I clicked it. It was at 2 o'clock my time, two in the afternoon my time, and it went live. And I literally clicked it as soon as the clock hit 12. The page reloaded, and I was 1.7 millionth in queue to buy one.
Dang.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe they got even some. Maybe if some of these scalpers still even got into there, or maybe that was actually just gamers too. But there was a lot of people in front of me, and they only had 5 million in stock too for that. And I think they probably sold out all 5 million. If I would assume so. But
Yeah, they
that
probably
was
did.
that was their biggest stock drop.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the final thing I wanted to talk about though, we're gonna swoop all the way back to Paladins. So if Paladins ever created a new esports scene, would you do it, Smoke? Would and if so, and if you would, follow up question to that if you say yes, who would be your dream team as in players?
Uh, I mean, if I got paid to do it, I mean, probably, sure. I mean, but I think the main overall problem for it is just Paladins isn't really a competitive game for esports. Like, it's hard to explain. It's too much of a casual game, and when they try and balance it for all rounder, it ends up failing in multiple areas. I mean, as you've probably seen, because several times they try catering to the casual players, the pro scene players absolutely hated it. And when they tried to balance it around pro scene players, the casual players hated it. And when they did half and half, everyone hated it. So it's like it's really hard for them to get the right balance in the right areas. And I think if they're gonna make it like an actual proper full-on esports tournament, I think the game first of all needs to undergo a lot of polishing
Yeah,
first, and
they need
they
to
need to
like what they
update
did
the
the
banning
match.
system too.
Yeah, the banning
Hmm?
system is scuffed. I think instead of one person deciding to ban, they should do it Rainbow Six Siege style, where like the entire character sheet is open. Everybody picks a character, and if more than one person picks the same character, then it counts as 2 votes to ban that person off. So the entire team can go, oh, we want to get Bomb King out of here. All right, all 5 players click on Bomb King, and then that counts as 5 votes towards Bomb King. Oh, one guy's like, wait, I want Victor, so then it goes 4-1, you know. But since they still have the majority, they get Bomb King banned. I think that is the
Hmm.
perfect way to do it. Isn't that how they do it in Overwatch too, if I remember correctly? Do they even do banning in Overwatch for esports?
No, there's no banning in Overwatch.
But in Rainbow for competitive esports for Rainbow, yes, the banning system works as all players get to choose who they want to be picked, like to get out. So if you're with a team and you have team communication, you're like, all right, we really need to get Maeve out this game. Like let's ban her, and then everybody clicks on her and boom, she's banned. Instead of one dude being like, who am I gonna ban? Oh, I want I want Vivian banned. I had a bad game with her that game. You know, like no more of that would happen with the new that new banning system, like with the Rainbow Six Siege banning system.
You know what I think they should do? They should have, since it's a 5v5 game and there's like way too many characters in Paladins right
They-
now as it is, I feel like each player on both teams should get a chance to ban one
Get a
character.
ban? That would
So what
that-
it should be is when the first two players get to like start, each of the first two players picks one champion to ban, and then they first pick a character. So that's basically starts off one ban per team, one character pick per team, and then it goes the next two, the same thing, one ban per team, which comes up to 2 bans per team total at this point, and then they get to pick the second character, and then so on and so on and so on. So by the end, you get 5 bans, and then you have the full team. So that way, when people want to like pick priority characters, they really have to think, right, what's important to pick, rather
well,
than just, throw pick with
the one
some random character.
the one thing that I think is with that system though, like I think everybody should be able to ban, but it should go down a line. So you ban, then the enemy bans, then the second person bans, and the second person bans, and the third person bans, and because if you have the first two people ban, and then they get to pick a character, they can probably pick a character that was going to get banned, you know? So I think you need to get all the bans out of the way right away so you can't play them. The only thing is, I feel like there should be a limit. You should not be able to ban, the one team should not be able to ban 5 tanks and then have the other team ban 5 tanks, because I'm pretty sure that would be all the tanks.
Yeah, but that's exactly why I suggested my method, because, it makes people think carefully about what they're banning and what they're picking.
It
So
could
that
work.
way,
Yeah, it would work a lot
yeah.
better than the one they have now, but it works.
It won't. It will end up won't be like all the tanks banned or all the supports banned, because if people are smart, they would have like each of their roles selected, or most likely to get banned roles selected early.
Well, I think they should I know people would hate it, and I know they try to even like in Overwatch, people also hate it so much that they even have like fast lanes or something like that for like getting into matches if you play support or tank or whatever.
Priority pass with
Yeah.
flex queues, that is.
Yeah, yeah. But in Paladins, I think they should force people to play characters. Like if you have 2 tanks, and then you have 2 damages, and then they're like, oh, I want to go. I want to play Vora. They should force them to not be able to play flank or damage or tank. You have to play support. If there is no support, like just for support, because tank, you know what, you can play a lot of combos without tank, but without a support, it is really hard to win, especially ranked games when people are sweating. And so I
Well, do
think
you want to listen to this idea? Like, earlier, like, say a year ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, GG Hash, and we both came out with this amazing idea that we think that, they should implement. So, it would be like a secondary ranked mode with a different rank queue and rank, but actually have it be like, a true test of skill. So when you queue into it, regardless of how many characters unlocked you have or not, it will select any of the characters in the game, regardless of if you own it or not. You can
it
play
auto locks it for you to force you to play it.
Yeah, so it will be a
Oh,
specific.
dude, that sounds actually fun.
So you don't know what role you're gonna be queued in as.
And it forces you to get good at all the roles.
Yeah, so it will basically rank you on how adaptable you are and how good you are at communicating with your team and winning.
The thing is, though, there's one issue with that is 90% of the players will never play that mode, that ranked mode especially, because 40% of the players don't play ranked. So then the 60% that do, they're like, well, fuck this. I want to just play damage all the time. So then a lot of them are just never gonna touch that mode. So
But
yeah,
then this is where the second part comes in, where the rewards for playing this rank mode is really good, where they have
it
an
still goes
actual
towards your regular
leaderboard.
rank.
Well, the regular ranked mode will have like a separate rank. So like
Oh,
on Overwatch where you get
yeah,
a rank for role queue and a rank for open queue, it will
yeah.
be like that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. So you have two different ranks.
Yeah.
They should do that for paladins though, like where they have a role, or like a role rank, where like whatever role you are, you have a specific rank for that.
And if you remember, when on the champion select lobby, you used
Mhm.
to get like rank frames around people's names.
Yeah.
We think that this blind pick rank mode should give like the frame borders around people's name based on their current rank at that time in the champion select lobby. Because that would be something really cool to work towards, and
Yeah.
it's something that you can be proud to show off and enjoy. And that would be a completely unique thing, and give people a reason to actually play it. Because that's what got people into ranked in the first place back in 2017 with their old system. Was they see all these like really cool like frames around their characters and be like, oh my god, I want one of those too, and like get like platinum or diamond frame or even masters, and
Why did they take out like the name frames?
I honestly don't know. Like, who knows what heroes were thinking at that point?
Well,
Like,
yeah, they
it
also
was.
took out the ability to change like the head, the body, and the gun too, and that was
Well,
like,
the reason for that, they said, oh, it would be too much work to do every single skin and every single combination, fix all the bugs and blah 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 blah, and
what?
give them more freedom of making more elaborate skins and stuff because of how like the bone structure works on the assets they've been using.
I think that's kind of BS.
Yeah, I mean, if it's really that much of an issue, just update like the assets and then adapt all the old skins around that updated
Because
asset. So then,
that was one thing that I really liked having with skins is I was like, all right, I'm gonna use like, because for
yeah,
example,
just
golden
mix and
BK,
match.
I was gonna do golden BK. There wasn't a gold skin for him yet, but I was like it would be so epic back in the day before gold. I was gonna do cosmic BK, pumpkin body, and then do like at the time I was gonna do the Love King bombs because I like whenever you throw the grumpy and it goes like it moans, it fucking moans when it explodes. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And then they took out the
Yeah,
feature to do that. I was like, what in the world? So then it was just like, all right, well I can still use the weapons, but like now I have to have this stupid pumpkin skin because the pumpkin's body's cool, but his head is stupid.
right.
I
I used
hate
to
the
like
head on that.
using the cosmic Drogos, but with the Terramorph like horns and eyes.
Actually,
So
Drogos was one of my first ever played characters. I think him and
yeah,
he
it
was my
was like
first ever played. Yeah.
blue. It was like all blue and like had red eyes and red horns, and it was so cool.
They need to redo the cosmic skins, honestly, because they're so not worth it.
Well, the cosmic skins on their own are just garbage. That's
Yeah,
just honestly straight way of putting it. Like the best thing
that's
about
why
the
they don't even do
cosmic
them
skins
anymore.
was when you could like mix and match them and like enhance what you already had. That's what they were really good for.
Well, I remember this was when the game was really like baby game still. Like it was just in its early infant days. I remember when they were like, all right, we're gonna start doing like a lot of skins now. Like we're gonna be pumping out chests like every week. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
I had I was like, all right. So I went in. I used to get because how you had to get stuff on PlayStation because I didn't have a credit card. So I would have to get these PSN gift cards, and that's how I used to get things like all the time, like so much. So I got like a $50 gift card, and I bought every single chest. And I don't know, maybe my mind is like warping, but you could get duplicate items of things you already owned, if I remember correctly. Could you not?
yeah. But then it used to give you essence for it.
Yeah. So I ended up, and I'm not even kidding. I don't know what chest. I think it was the Halloween chest because I wanted the Bomb King skin. Okay. I spent $50 on that chest, and this was okay. This was like 10 or not 10. This was like 12-year-old me. Okay. This was 12-year-old little Jason here. Okay, he bought $50 on the to get the pumpkin skin because I thought it was the coolest skin ever, and I ended up getting like 7 million, or not 7 million, fucking like a million essence or some shit like that, because I got so many duplicates of stupid skins, and then like they even had like those skins back in the day that were just like completely the head of the skin that you could get. So then there's skins like the Halloween one for Ruckus, which now just has the regular body and has like the stupid little guy. You know what I'm talking about for Ruckus?
Little Angie skin.
Yeah, little Andy. That skin's useless now. It's so dumb. Like, God, that pisses me off because like some of the skins were so dope. I remember I had the Cluck Cluck hat. I got it out of the skin. I got it
What,
out
the
of the
Strix?
for the
Yeah.
Strix. I got that one, and then and I was like, oh, that looks dope. I put it on, and I used to rock Strix and he just had the little Cluck Cluck hat, and I used to rock it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so epic. And then they were like, yeah, we're getting rid of the feature to just put on the head of bodies. I was like, what? Like, I think their old skins that they used to do, if they still made skins like that, like with just small little voice acting, like they didn't need like for example, Pumpkin still has the same voice actor, just he's like, oh, spooky, like
Yeah.
and like that's fun. But then like you have things like the new one, like the Yasmin for Lex, or like the Pepper for Pip, where they're just completely opposite gender,
Wait,
completely
I
different.
noticed. I think they got rid of Pepper skin.
Did they actually?
I mean, I was looking for it yesterday or whenever, and I honestly couldn't find it.
Wow. Hold on.
It
Let me
could
look.
just be a case of it being bugged, because if you remember a while back, Terminus skin called Yeti or Abominable,
Yeah.
whatever,
The Abominable
it
was
was like, even though you had it, you couldn't equip it because it didn't list in the skins list, and it might be a case of that for Pepper.
Well, even with that skin though, I think the reason why they took it, I think the reason why they took it out is, I remember, I don't know, if it's an audio, I don't know if it's because of they changed the voices and the voices are specific to certain characters, like certain
Mm.
skins. That could be why. But for some reason, whenever you would alt, like with the Omega Makoa when that came out, and whatever Terminus skin it was, if it was the Abominable or whatever, you would not hear the alt cues. You would not hear the music, the alt or anything. All of a sudden, you would just see a Makoa running at you with a big ass fucking like metallic like electronic hook, just, and he had like a little like thing, like the little buzz around him, like the where you could see it. So I'd be challenging like a Makoa, and all of a sudden it would just boom boom boom, and my health would start going down, and all of a sudden he's swinging around a freaking anchor or whatever. I'm like, what in the world? And then with the Terminus skin, it was even worse because Terminus is alt is nutty. If you're not paying attention and you're just sitting on point and Terminus is behind you and he alts and you don't hear once more I rise, you're not gonna see it, and boom, you get clapped because the audio cue doesn't go off, and you just
Oh,
get
do you remember
destroyed.
the old bug with Terminus where after he ulted, he would be under the map for everyone else, but for him, he would just go around as normal?
No,
So
but
he'd just have an invisible Terminus killing
I
everyone and no one
I
could
do
shoot him but him.
remember I do remember on console it happened too, but not as often. But if you were playing a DirectX 12 version of the game on Steam, back when it was only on Steam or whatever, or when it was on PC, when it's on PC, if you used just Strix's flashbang, there was like a 50% chance that your screen would just like, it would go white, then it would go black, and then it would come back. So the freaking the flashbang was like actually disgusting because it didn't last for like 3 seconds. It lasted for like 9 because your screen would go black and then fade back in.
Yeah, it did that to me all the time. I hated it. It was
And
like
it,
so
it, it would only
glitchy.
happen a little bit on console, and then they finally fixed it. I think, I don't know, but I don't use I don't use yeah, I don't use Strix too often. Even though I'm kind of nutty with Strix. He's my third most used character, but hold on, I'm checking for this pepper skin though. No, it's called Remix. It's there.
It's called Pepper.
No, it's just called Remix, I think.
Oh, you mean the Strix skin?
No. It's for Pip. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, Pip.
Yeah.
Wasn't it called Pepper though?
No, it just says Remix right there.
Really?
Yeah, it's there too. She's there.
Huh.
The
Maybe I was just very blind.
the refer friend though, I fucking hate that BS. I want that skin. It's cool. I like the gun, but like the refer friend is such a fucking bullshit ass thing because it doesn't work on console.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody who's gonna play Pip anyways anymore. It's the reason why
I mean,
Pip
I
hasn't got
tried
his.
Pip like yesterday, and it was. I don't know.
There's a reason
Catalyst
why
Pip
Pip
just
hasn't
doesn't
gotten a skin
suit.
since Pepper because like yeah.
I mean, he can be good if you play him as support with the one where you shoot teammates with your weapon. It
Oh
heals
yeah, that
them
one's
like.
good. But if you're trying to go for like have you ever watched those old clips of like the old esports from Paladins like back in 2017 when the only healer most teams would use would be Pip?
Well, I never really watched Paladins esports because it never really interested me.
Oh, they used to use well, first off, other than flying BKs, which were disgusting, they used to use Pip a lot. But I watched Super Bounce was in one of them. It was in like the 2017 one. He was watching it because he was in it, I think, or something. I don't know if he was in it,
Well,
but
he
I
was
don't.
a Paladins streamer back then on the Paladins game.
Yeah, but anyways, they the Bomb King. His I just remember we were watching it. Like I was watching a stream and he was watching it, and they flip over to Bomb King because he ults, and he starts Bomb King starts rolling in, okay, and he rolls in. He hits. I don't know who he hit. I can't remember. It was a tank though. I don't know if it was a Nara or if it was Fernando or what, or maybe even Barrick. But he hit a tank, and it actually basically insta killed him. Like his bomb, I totally forgot. His king bomb used to do 3,500 damage.
Oof.
Yeah, he used to be broken. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know that. So you wouldn't do esports unless they paid you then, basically. But I mean, if you're winning, you're gonna get paid. Well, I've heard those stories of like those teams talking about how like basically they got put up in shitty motels and stuff like that because high res wouldn't pay for them and they would have to be away from their families for weeks doing these tournaments and then you weren't even guaranteed money at the end of it and
Yeah.
like that was one reason why it mainly closed because a lot of the teams just didn't want to do it anymore.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I guess I'm out of questions. If you have anything you want to talk about, you can go ahead then.
I can't really think of anything. I feel like we covered a lot of really interesting things today.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for an hour and 32 minutes, so.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was that long. I just looked down and I was like, oh, Jesus. All right. Well, I guess this is probably going to be the closing of the podcast. Well, thank you, Smoke, for coming and just talking about random stuff with me, Paladins,
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was a
fault
good time.
lines,
Thank you.
talking about geography. Yeah, it was really cool. We learned a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff. I mean, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. The third episode. Well, it's already pre-recorded. I'm just gonna upload it. It should be uploaded on Friday for everybody who's wondering. And thank you for watching till the end. And I will are listening to I guess whatever you're on. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.